Takes just a second. Hello, YouTube. We are live. What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing tonight?
Live at 6:45.
Hello, YouTube.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. You got
Every
some
time, man.
got
Last
some
two times.
feedback. Showtime. Yeah, I think we've got everything set up here to start, but we'll just give you guys a few minutes if you have questions. I did see somebody had a question about the meet, about the next meet. So, spring, I haven't decided exactly where it's going to be yet, but it will probably be in North Carolina. I need to work. I need to figure out where I want to do it. I would like for it to be close to here, so it'd be easier for me to go and do planning and stuff like that. But I have had kind of offers before of shops to use their parking lot and stuff like that. And usually the ones in North Carolina bring about 20 to 30 cars sometimes. I haven't been heavily advertising it because I wasn't sure how much space. This past year we had actually a really big parking lot. We had enough room for probably 100 cars. But I'm the world's worst party planner, so don't ask me to plan your next party because nobody would know about it.
But they always start off, everyone kind of trickles in as the afternoon goes on. Seems like even at the smaller ones.
Yeah, they hear we're giving away free stuff if they buy tickets. It's not really free, I don't guess, if you have to buy a ticket, but whatever.
Lottery.
That's right. It's better. You have a much better chance than you do with the lottery. You know, they got like 1 in 175 million and to win a lottery, but you have 1 in about 20 or 25 to win something
Yeah,
more
Mike
than
bought
that.
8 tickets and won like 5 things.
Yeah,
So,
be somebody like Mike or Wayne Harris. He won 3 things and only bought 4 tickets, or was it
yeah.
4 and bought 5? Something like that. I don't know. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think it was 3 and 4.
I'm gonna check through, trying to show my big old head on the screen here. Let me scroll through and see if we see any questions. Damian Brooker's in the house. Rick's in the house. Alan. Kevin Willis. Eric Dudley. Focus Dark Audio. Boban. Santo. Craig, Old School Car Audio in Australia. It is Friday in Australia. Friday morning, actually. I just don't understand how it must be to live in the future. Because he doesn't even need a DeLorean. He's already there.
He can tell us right now what's going to happen tomorrow.
That's right. He can tell us all these games and stuff, and we can bet on them. Craig, we're going to have
Wait
to
a
hit
minute.
you up.
I see a new amp box back there.
What?
I spy a new amp box back there.
I had that in there last week, and nobody noticed, but that's all.
Really?
Yeah. You know what it is?
No, I can't tell.
I know. I've got it blurred just enough where you can't tell what it is. It's the Urban Audio Works in the
Oh,
box, mint. Everybody wants one of those, I know. All right, we got Ram here from Napa, MSH 68. We got another Derek here. Boban, Focus Dark Audio. I think I've already said that one. Franco, Alan, hello, what's up? You get all quiet, Vega. Did you mute? Yeah, he did.
yeah, I muted.
Okay, I'm
That,
about to
that way they
say,
didn't have to see my ugly face.
heard silence. All right, well, we are just chilling. So, as you guys noticed, we didn't have the normal Wednesday show this week because I have small children and Halloween is family time, so sorry. But and Rob has been working super long hours too, so we weren't able to work in the Wednesday show. We probably should have let people know earlier than we did, but that's my bad. We'll try to remember next time if we're not going to do a Wednesday to let you guys know in advance, but we're going to
Yeah.
try to do one every week, and it's going to try to be Wednesday. But if we don't, we'll try to let you know a few days in advance.
Yep, it rained like crazy yesterday. We still had a ton of kids.
Really?
Yeah, a ton of them. Truckloads. Literal truckloads.
You bring them in from all over to come to your neighborhood.
I guess so.
They heard that that your last name was Vega, and you might have some speakers.
Yeah. Well, I told Cassie that I was thinking about getting the full size candy bar. She's like, no way. It's like, no way. We have way too many kids. I guess I forgot how many kids come by.
Yeah, no doubt. You go broke quick. You be in
Yeah.
there with your in the kitchen with your big old knife, cutting them in pieces and putting them in Ziploc bags.
She said we run out of candy the last 3 years.
Man,
Ooh, future guest. Yes. Next week, matter of fact, right?
yes, and that's another reminder. I've got to send out some information to our guests to, yeah, give them a preemptor of what we have planned. And yes, next week will be interesting. Those who are old school and those who are new as well, you all will probably, or you definitely will enjoy that one because we got a heavy hitter and we got some good questions for this heavy hitter. It's going to be epic.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Yep, we're really looking forward to it. And we got to get some more lined up too. I got some people interested, but I didn't get any firm dates from some of them, so I got to work on that too. Yeah. Inglewood's in the house. Big D, power up that old Sony. Damien, I'm waiting for brother JDR to send me a box because what I did is I sent a box down to Texas so I didn't have to try to carry on all that equipment. And I've got it all nicely packed in the box and sent him the label and everything. So I'm waiting for him to send it back. And then I will play with that because that's actually going to be a future video. That's such a cool little Sony is all I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah, that is cool.
And props to Rob for picking that out because I didn't even know it was on the table. And Rob's
I
like,
didn't see it
"Did you
either."
see this?" I was like, "What is that?"
I seen the model and I was like, whoa, hold up. This.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very old Sony head unit, so I'm looking forward to showing it off. Not sure that the mechanism works, but just to show it and show what it looks like, and the condition looks to be really good, the face and everything. So that's cool. Alrighty, what's our time looking like?
53.
53. So we still got a few minutes.
Yeah.
Just trying to think of what else. The meet was very cool, and if you guys if you haven't seen the last video, go check it out. We got some pictures from the meet. I'm still working on the video. Well, I can't even lie. I haven't worked on the video yet for that, but I will soon, and throw together some of the pictures of the cars and some of the pictures of us and the equipment, things like that. I'll throw that together so you guys can have an idea. Again, we talked about this probably last time, but we all were having so much fun we didn't take a lot of pictures and video. So I'm going to try to get a videographer next time to help so that we don't have to worry about it. We can just chill and have fun.
Yeah, for sure. That way we can actually have video and pictures of everything.
Yeah, and then the other cool thing is somebody being able to get that outside perspective, because I kind of feel like if I hold the camera up, then somebody's going to act different if somebody's just kind of walking around and capturing stuff. Of course, the vehicles will be a little different. They'll have to talk to the owner and get the system lists and things like that. But we've had people talk about having SPL contests and having, you know, best of show and whatever, having some trophies. And my only concern with that is just the time it would take to do that stuff and then not be able to hang out. So I don't want it to. My goal in the future is for it not to turn into an official show. I kind of like the meat part about it and just hanging out with people. I know it's kind of
Informal.
informal. That's a good term, and that's what I was looking for. It's informal, and I kind of like it that way. But I would say that because I'm not a good party planner. Other people would say, "Oh, you need to have this at 2 o'clock and this at 4 o'clock and whatever." And I'm just more of the by the seats kind of seat of the pants kind of guy. Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, you need some time for check out everyone's stereos. You want to check out what they got and hear their stories and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, that's a good portion of what the meet is all about to me, is just hanging out. So that's what I'm looking forward to. We are a couple minutes away. I'm going to bring up another clock here so I can see what time we've got.
Let's see. Mark asked, what are some of the most amazing new car audio goodies everyone is looking forward to?
That's a good question. I would really, I haven't seen a lot of stuff from SEMA. Have you guys seen much stuff from SEMA, new car audio stuff? I haven't.
I haven't been keeping up.
I know you've been working a lot, and I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. But if anybody has anything that you've noticed that you want to see, let us know. Yeah, I'm having manufacturers all the time try to send stuff, and I'm having to turn them down in a lot of cases. But I want to do what you guys want to see. I don't want to do whatever a manufacturer wants to send me. That's not really my gig. So if y'all know of something that you want to see, then I will request it. So, and I'll see if they'll give it away too, because that's just for the win. Have some things coming up to give away too. Oh yeah,
Giveaways are fun.
yeah. There's several things coming on my YouTube channel that are giving away, and I just crossed 75K. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Oh yeah. So
20
now you're behind Quality Mobile Video still, or you got up past them?
We've been neck and neck, and Dean, I think he passed because he does so many videos. I cannot keep up with the quantity that he does. But I think I will probably come behind both of those guys because they have so much content. But we'll see. Never know. I could have a viral video before then and beat them. But
Yeah.
the goal is 100K. Once I get to 100K, I'm prop up my feet and I'm not going to work anymore. So y'all just going to.
Yeah, just hang out that silver play button in the background and
Yep.
call it good.
That's right. I'll get in my rocking chair.
I'm thinking about making my own bronze plate.
Oh yeah, there you go. What, the 10K bronze?
Oh, they don't actually give one, do they?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
But hey, 10K is big. They even say
Yeah.
that 100K, you're closer to a million than you think. I'm like, it was
Yeah.
harder to get to 10,000 than it will be to get to 100, I think. All right, so 7:59. I think this is your turn, right?
Yeah,
Unless you want me to do it, it doesn't matter to me.
I can do it.
All right, let me pull up your image here and share it, and then I'll do your countdown to goodness.
All right, fellas, we'll answer your questions after the 1 hour show.
Yeah, y'all keep asking along the way, and help us out along the way too if we miss something, or if you think of something that we haven't included, please add that along the way, because I'll try to keep an eye on the chat, and if it's something that we've missed, I'll try to add it in. But questions and things like that, hold that until the end. It'd be easier for us to gather it. But any of the comments along the way, if you have, if you can help us with that, that would be greatly appreciated. Alrighty, 8 o'clock. So I'll do the countdown, and then you can start it up. Trying to sneeze. Hit you.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2.
12 Volt Talk, episode 13. HiFiVega here. You can find me at youtube.com/HiFiVega. HiFiVega on all the social medias. Joined, as always, by my good buddy, Big D Wiz. Where can they find you, Big D?
What's up, guys? This is Big D Wiz. OldSchoolStereo.com. Also, YouTube.com/Big D Wiz. We are on Instagram at Old School Stereo and Williston Audio Labs. And yeah, we're a few places. Getting excited about 75,000 subscribers on YouTube, 25 away from the big 100K. Check me out, youtube.com/BigDWiz. Make sure you subscribe. Tell your grandma, tell your mama, tell your friends. Get me to 100K so I can retire. Because, you know, you guys think that 100K, like, people can quit work and stuff, and that ain't the case. Right, Robert?
I wouldn't know. I'm not even close. I would have no clue.
You can just do the math, you know,
Yeah.
with what you make it at a certain level and know that you're not going to do it at the other end. But anyway, today is going to be a fun episode. I like these kind because we're talking about deals in car audio, and Rob and I both are deal hunters, and we always look for the best deals. So we got some pretty good tips here. I know a lot of people here too that are watching, that are listening. You guys are probably the same way. You want your dollar to extend, or whatever, your peso, or wherever you live, to extend as far as it can when you're purchasing car audio goodness. So we're going to talk about some of our favorite products for the money.
Yep, and it's getting close to Black Friday, so deals are on people's minds, and car audio isn't necessarily a big Black Friday item, but we've got a couple solid deals in here.
Yeah, we may need to think about doing a special show for Black Friday. If you guys
Indeed.
want to see something like that, leave us a comment. If you want us to pick out some of the super good deals, because there are usually some really good ones on Black Friday. I know I got some sound deadener one year, a really good deal on that, but there's always good deals that day. Just have to choose, where your money goes.
Yeah, and don't walk into a store. You just go online, click it, boom.
You're right about that. There's no reason to go into a store. Okay, so we've broken our segment or show down here into several different subcategories, and what we're going to do is we're going to first start off with amplifiers, and then we're going to get into speakers and subwoofers and other things like that. But first off, we're going to start with amplifiers, and I get a lot of questions about this because I test a lot of amps. And one of the questions we had is, what's your favorite sub amp all around for the money? And I get this one a lot, and usually my response is pretty much the same, and it's the Orion 2500.1Dz, the XTR series. Now, you guys may have seen the HCCA test I did. That amp is just a beast. You've got to have a massive electrical system for that one. The 2500.1, if you have one extra battery and you're using it for music, you should be good to go with that one. It retails for $439. I think you can usually find it for somewhere in the upper 300s. But you guys, we'll leave the link to the YouTube video you can watch. And actually the one I tested is not the Z version. There is a DZ, which is about 300 to 400 watts more powerful than the one I tested. So it's a great amp. It sounds good too, and it's just powerful. It's incredible for what it is.
Yeah, and I really don't have nothing to add to this one because, I haven't bought anything new for as far as sub amp for a while. So most of my stuff's kind of the old school stuff that I've been messing with.
Yeah, and we'll talk some about that too once we get to the price levels. We're going to talk about some other ways to save money by not buying new. So stick around for that as well. So the other thing we did, other than talk about my favorite amp, is then we kind of broke it down into price categories. And so we did like a 300, 200, 100. And a lot of people can say, well, even 300 is not enough. Well, this is a bargain that we're talking about. What I've really noticed with testing amps is there's a lot of amps in the $100 to $200 range, and then like $300 to $500 there's not a whole lot, and then from $500 up to $1,000, a little bit more, there seems to be quite a few more. So picking out one around the $300 range, I tried to go back through some of my videos and see what I tested and prices and things like that. And honestly, I hadn't tested a lot of $300 range, between like 280 and 350 or something. But the one I did pick out was right now $249. And I'll share my screen so I can show it to you on Amazon. And Amazon is actually an authorized reseller for Rockford Fosgate if you buy it from Rockford Fosgate, or in this case, from Amazon, or in this case, Sound of Tri-State is also a authorized seller of Rockford Fosgate. So you would get a warranty with this one. But the Prime 1200, you can see it's $239, and I've tested this one on the YouTube channel before, and of course it did more than it was rated, and all that good stuff. And it's a very compact amp. It's not as heavy, like it doesn't feel as well built as a lot of the higher price Rockford amps, but for the price and for the performance, that's one that I like a lot. I don't know, Rob, have you had a chance to try out the Prime series, the newer ones?
So I have tried the 500 one, and it's a powerhouse for the size and price. And I'm not sure. I had never tested one, but just playing with it, it's definitely putting out over 500 watts.
Yeah, they're pretty consistent with giving you what you're paying for and a little bit more. But that's the one that I like for around that price. Again, between 250 and 300. You may find it a little less if you shop online. If you go to a shop, it might be a little bit more. So for the $200 range, I do have a couple different suggestions, and I'll share my screen again. Those who are listening to this, sorry you can't see my screen, but I'll try to explain it as best possible. This is the Pioneer GMD 9601. This is a 1200 watt subwoofer amplifier. Comes with the remote bass cable, accepts 4-gauge inputs. This one actually did pretty well as well on the dyno. Anywhere between $170 and $220 depending on where you buy it. I've got the Crutchfield page pulled up right now. Obviously Crutchfield is authorized reseller, and sometimes they have open box deals, like they have one here, a scratch and dent for $198. So that's a way to save a little bit of money on that. But that's another great amp, and I don't know, Rob, if you've had a chance to play around with the Pioneers.
Yep. That amp right there is a solid amp. For the money and all around it, I may go with that over the Prime, even at that lower price. I think maybe it's a better deal all around.
Yeah, it's surprising. A lot of people who don't use Pioneer or kind of brush them away as a Walmart brand and stuff like that. I was surprised by it, honestly. Pioneer, of course, in the old school days was always a pretty good brand. Their amplifiers were good, their head units were good. So, having to relearn all that stuff once I got back into car audio, finding things like this that are still a good value, makes me happy.
Yeah.
So another item in the $200 and under price category is the Audiopipe APMI 2000. And I actually haven't tested this one myself, but my buddy Ryan Blankenship, the guy that does the Budget Gym or Budget Bust, he tested this one, and if I can remember, it did pretty good. It did about what it was rated. And you can see on Amazon, this was $171 for a 2000 watt amp, which is insane. And it comes with a bass knob. Of course, it's a cheaper bass knob, and it actually comes with a fuse holder and a fuse.
Wow.
That's like, between those two, that's like $30-40 right there.
Yeah, that's a very popular amp, 2000 watt amp.
It is.
That and the what's it? The Scar 2000, I think.
Yeah, the RP 2000 is about $40 more, and I didn't put that one in this list, but you're right. That one is, I think it's $239 or $229.
Yeah.
But that one's very popular. But I had one of those, and I did some research and found that a lot of people were having issues, just slight issues with them. But Scar was good about replacing it. Of course, they scratched the amp and sent me one that
Yeah.
was worse than the one I sent them.
Good
But
about
you,
replacing it, not shipping it.
yeah, and they didn't package it very well. But I'm sure they're working on that, right, Scar? You're gonna
Yeah.
work on your packing, get you some better packing stuff. So yeah, the Audiopipe APMI 2000, $171, incredible deal. I mean, we're as old school guys. Me and Rob are sitting here going, 2,000 watts for under $200.
Yeah.
That's just mind blown.
Fun fact, I've never run anything over a 1500 watt amp in my system. So I don't know anything about this.
Fun fact for me, in a car, I haven't either. I mean, I've done it on the
Yeah.
test bench and stuff, but I haven't either. So, there with you, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next section I want to talk about is I broke it down a little bit because these are what I call mini or micro amps. And this one I really like. And I think I showed a video of it before, but I can't remember if I did a full test on it. It's the Rockville RXD T2. And they used to have a marine version, which was the RXM T2 it was silver in color. It actually looked a lot cooler than this one on the outside, but it also had a coated circuit board and everything like that. It's designed for marine use, but they must have discontinued it because I can't find that one anymore. But this one, $115, and you get I think it's 400 by 2 at 4 ohms, and 600 by 2 at 2 ohms, or it says 1600 watts bridged at 4 ohms, but it doesn't quite do
Yeah.
that. If you think about it, 2 by 600, this should be 1200 right here. Not sure how.
Yeah, Rockville, they play games with their ratings on the amps there. They got 3 different sets of ratings they like to use.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Just give us the 1% THD one. That's all we care about.
Right. I think Ryan had a small rant on the last Rockville amp he tested about it. So
Yeah,
you need to go
it's
check that out.
it's confusing to the end user for sure that we don't just have one rating, but for $115, you're getting a solid amp here, and it's not very big. It's only, see if it tells me the size, 12 inches by 6.5 by 2 inches. So it's really small, really powerful too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like,
especially for that kind of money. I mean, that's crazy. That small
yep,
price, wattage.
yeah, I like that one. I really do. And you know what? Big dummy me, leave it to me for forgetting one of before I get to the mini amps. But you guys probably know what this one is, but I'm going to go ahead and show it. This is not a mini amp, but this is another one of I call it around the $100 realm. And don't laugh, because
Oh no, the Armor series.
people see it in your car, they may laugh, but man, for the money, you're not getting 4,000 watts, you're getting about 1,000 watts. But these things are bulletproof, man. I couldn't kill it. I tried. I tried every way other than throwing copper on the circuit board to kill it. And these are actually strappable too.
Wait, didn't you throw copper on the? I thought I
That
seen
was
the
the
video.
that was the 1,500. That wasn't the 4,000.
Oh,
I wanted to save
okay.
this one, and I've got a good reason to save it because I'm gonna do a dyno drag with another amp in the future that I just got in. So, but anyway, for $110, if your budget, bass head, you can't beat this.
And I bet
110.
you could peel that emblem right off the top. I bet you.
Yeah, you probably could, or get you a sticker, get you an old
Yeah.
school stereo sticker and put it over top of it. If some guy will ever ship them out, I don't know who that slacker is. Never get stickers for people. So that's the one right around $100, and actually the Rockville I showed you was my other pick that's right around $100, a little bit more. So as far as the micro amps, I'm gonna try to go through this kind of quick because I don't want to take up the whole show talking about amplifiers. But for the micro amps, I really like the little Kenwoods, the KAC M3004, which is here, and also the 3001, which is the mono version. The 3004, they're both about the same size. I think the 3004 is just a little bit longer in length, but the 3001, is 300 watts at 2 ohms and 200 watts at 4 ohms. And I know I get a lot of feedback from the guys that do power sports and do Harleys and stuff like that, and they really like the 4-channel version of this because they have like the 4 6-inch or 2 6-inch and 2 6x9s in the back, and they really like the Kenwood, and it's marine rated too. So
Yeah, and it's got the power terminals right on there instead of a pigtail.
yes, for the
That's
power.
cool.
Now the
Yeah.
speakers leads are pigtails, but you can get one of those little terminal strip thingies and help with that.
Yeah, it's
But
nice to have the power though, the power terminals on there.
yes, yes, agreed. And both of these on Amazon are right around $120. And I believe if you get it from Amazon, that is an authorized reseller, but don't quote me on that. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments if that's wrong. But
Oh,
yeah,
and we need to point out we'll have Amazon links to almost everything we mentioned here. That'll be affiliate links for our channel.
yes, yes, we are trying to pay our third wheel here. Who's that? No, we're trying to pay for the SoundCloud, which is
Yeah,
$144 a year to do the podcast. So we need to make a little money here, people. We can't, keep spending all of our own, not getting any back, but we'll get there. You guys are good. So another one of the little mini amps that I haven't used myself, but Ryan again has tested, is this little Clarion. I don't know if you guys have seen this one. This is a 5-channel. It's 50 by 4 plus 200 by 1 at 4 ohms, or 75 by 4 plus 300 by 1 at 2 ohms. Or you can bridge it to 150 by 2 plus 300 by 1. And this amp was actually underrated, so he tested it and actually got more power than that. And it's like 179 bucks for a 5
yeah,
channel. That's pretty good.
yeah. That was an awesome deal for that amp.
And
You're gonna have to deal with the Molex, but it's so small that there's really nothing they could do.
yeah, I guess that's what they figure. If you want to put it in a motorcycle or something, you can always tuck the wires around. But if you make it longer, you just have to deal with that extra heat sink. So that's another one that looks pretty cool. Now the NVX MVPA1. This one I haven't got my hands on yet, but I know that Sonic Electronics tested it on their YouTube channel, and I've seen some other tests, and this thing is underrated. They even show the actual dyno results on here too, and it's rated 300 by 1 at 2 ohms or 200 by 1 at 4 ohms, and there you can see the actual Sonic Electronics certified rating with the dyno. They got 476 at 2 ohms. Now talking about
Wow,
underrated, that is crazy. And 268 at 4 ohms, where it's rated 200 watts.
that's
And
when I really wanted to play. I like the design of it. It's like a crossover. Looks like a passive crossover kind of.
yes, yeah, it does. I mean,
Yeah,
and you can see here versus and that's like an iPhone 4,
yeah,
because this amp's been around for a while. But yeah, like Rob said, it looks like a crossover. You just pop this little panel off, and everything on this one is through the little terminal strip, so you can get you some of those little fork terminals, and it's got the Pico fuse built in. Only thing it doesn't have is a bass knob, and I'm kind of a bass knob freak, but
yeah.
if you can get by without it, if you can control it from your head unit, that's a good deal. 120 bucks for that, can't beat that. All right, so while I'm still sharing my screen, I'm gonna go to the next one, the Ignite, the Ignite
Ignite.
4000. And when you search on Google for Ignite 4000, look at that big dummy. He shows up right here under videos, but you can't find this amp anywhere except for Amazon or like Steve Mead's site, because I posted the video there, or YouTube. But for $78, I think it was 75 when I tested, so it's gone up a little bit. But you're getting a solid 750 watts, so a little bit more I think I got with it. And it comes with a bass knob. If you're just getting in to car audio and you want an amp to try out, and this one actually works pretty good, and you get a warranty and everything through
Yeah.
Amazon.
If you want to spark your flame for car audio again, get the Ignite.
Ah. You're going to make me get a mixing board with sound effects. But yeah, pretty good deal if you ask me, for 78 bucks, less than 100. And that's shipped too, which is,
That was one that shocked you and shocked everybody, I think.
yes, yeah, that one did shock. Okay, again, trying to speed through this, I've got a couple of 5-channel amp deals. The Pioneer 9605 and the Kenwood X801-5. And I won't go to the, because I think the only link I put in here was YouTube. I don't want to pull that up and mess up our stream. But the Pioneer is like $220. The Kenwood is a little more unless you get it refurbished, and that's how I bought mine.
Yeah.
You can get it refurbished for about $199, and those are both great 5-channel amps, pretty powerful.
Oh yeah. I mean, you'll see in your upcoming video. I think did you get some video of Mike's truck with the 9605 in there?
I did.
Okay, so they'll see soon enough what that amp can do on some subs.
Yes. Needless to say, I was impressed. I saw it on the dyno, but man, listening to it in a vehicle, I said, that's the amp, that $220 amp. He's like, yep,
Yeah.
pretty impressive. So that's kind of all I have for the amps themselves, but I did want to talk about another way to save a little money, and that would be, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but buying refurbs. So a lot of people hear refurb and they're scared to death. And there's a reason for that, because there are some bad refurbs you can buy. It's recommended you buy it from an authorized reseller. Somebody like Crutchfield or Sound of Tri-State always has great deals, and they're certified, bona fide, validated, however you say it, for every brand they sell. And like the Kenwoods, they have the Kenwoods usually on a really good deal, the refurbs, and they're refurbished by Kenwood. The Rockford stuff's refurbished by Rockford, and you're getting a super discount versus retail price. So, and in Crutchfield, I'm sure Rob has done this like me. If you go to Crutchfield and go to their outlet center,
Yeah.
or when they put stuff on sale, they drop the price significantly a lot of times.
Yeah, they just keep dropping it until they're all gone. I mean, you'll find I once got a Infinity Digital Beta 300 amp, and I think I got it for like $200, something like that, off there.
Man, you had the digital beta 300?
Yep, sold it too. When I got out of car audio, I just sold it for like $100.
Was that the DPA 300?
No, it was the blue. So it was one of their first Class D amps that they made a sub amp out of. They
Okay.
had the digital series, so instead of the green, it had the blue, and they
Okay.
had the digital 300, 201, or 150, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I remember which ones you're talking about now. I
Yeah.
was thinking it was those original DPAs that were
Oh
in the
no,
early 90s, because I've never, they're supposed to make one that's like 300 by 2, and I've never seen one, so I don't know if they really ever made one or not. But
no.
I digress. So buying refurb is okay, save you some money, but make sure you use an authorized seller. You can check eBay sometimes, they have it, but again, you have to make sure that the seller is authorized or you're willing to take the chance. Because if it's refurbished by Joe Bob's Electronics and Joe Bob has been sucking too many solder fumes, then he may not be able to repair it too well. Right, Rob?
Right. And we got here too buying used. We do that quite often, and that's always a gamble. That is always a gamble.
You have to be willing to take a loss at times buying used. Because honestly, um, some people unintentionally sell stuff that doesn't work used because just like me, probably you, Rob, and everybody, and a lot of the people that are watching or listening to this, we keep stuff that we don't really use in our car for a while, for years, and then we decide, hey, I'm gonna get rid of that. You really need to plug it in and make sure it works before you sell it, because this whole thing, and you see it on eBay all the time. Oh, it worked when I removed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes it gets kicked when it's under your bed, or there may
Yeah.
be something that that would cause that to not work. So just be
And
careful with that.
I've had it happen a few times, but honestly, most of the time I've come out good. Most of the people I've dealt with, especially when you're on a Facebook group like the old school stereo sale page or somewhere like that, it's kind of tightly regulated. You get a lot better transactions on something like that than just straight up off of Craigslist or let go or anything like that.
Yeah, a lot of people, scour Craigslist and now like Rob said with Facebook, Next Door is another one, and Offer Up. They're all ones that you can check. And usually the diamonds in the rough are like when you search for amp or you search for Rockford phosphate or something that doesn't, match the spelling. And then some people have got some insane deals because, the person selling it didn't know what they had, didn't know how to spell it. But that's always a way you can save money if you buy used. Buy it from somebody you know, or buy it, you might get lucky. Go to yard sales or flea markets. Sometimes people get good deals. But if you're
Yeah.
willing to put into work, you can save money. But
Or
eBay
you can
is
just buy
not.
something new and save a little money too.
That's
That's the easiest way.
that's true, and you're not going to lose a lot when you sell it now. If you pay $100 for an amp, sell it for 50.
Yeah.
You get your money out of it. Um, so that's kind of it for amplifiers. That's about all I had for suggestions there. We're going to talk now about the subwoofers. And Rob, what is your favorite all-around subwoofer for the money?
So I've only owned one of these a long time ago, but I've heard so many of them. It's a iconic sub in the current times. It's the Sundown SA12. You can get it for a little over $200 or at $200. And this sub it can pretty much do everything. It can sound good. It can get loud. It's just a great all around sub. And just about anybody that's used one, I'd say, would say the same thing.
Yes, I have not tried the SA12, but I wanted to when they had those in the Sundown yard sale. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but they had them for just over $100 shipped. But I'll show a link here on Amazon of what the SA12. I'm sure most of you guys have seen the SA12 and know what we're talking about. But brand new, they sell for about $215. But they are a classic subwoofer, 4-spoke basket design. Was it got a 2.5-inch voice coil, or is it a 3-inch?
You know what? I'm not actually sure on that.
I
It
don't
might
remember.
it might be a three. I don't know if it's a 3 inch or not.
Well, yeah, it's somewhere between 2.5 and 3. It's 19 millimeter X Max. It's a beast. 29 pounds. I guess I would equate this to maybe similar to a old school JL Audio W6. Would you say?
Yeah, yeah. It's a good all, and you notice that the surround isn't just crazy on this thing. Now it is bumped up, but it's more along the lines of a speaker that old school guy would recognize.
And I believe, Mike Flanagan, who does SQ and SPL, I think he uses the ZV15s, but they're still Sundown. But
Yeah,
he's able to win SQ and SPL contests. So a lot of people hear Sundown and think, right off the bat they're SPL subs, but they actually do some good sound quality as well.
yeah. It's a versatile sub.
So that's cool. 215 bucks, and then we'll talk about a little bit later down in the speaker section or subsection here how you can save a little money potentially getting one of those. What about your favorite sub under 200 or 100 bucks?
So for those, we'll start off with the Arc Audio 10. Now, you've got to hear the eights, and this is a sub that really surprised me. The amount of output you can get from these from a basically an SQ focused subwoofer. A sub that sounds really good, small seal, and it sounds great ported, and you can just get an insane amount of output. That's what really surprised me about these. It just threw me all the way off when I put a little power to it, and the 8 I was using was rated around 150 watts RMS. I was running 600 watts on it, and it just, it took it like a champ.
Yeah, the eights I heard the Arc were incredible. Of course, there's so many different brands of subs out there. That, I haven't gotten close to hearing all of them, and a lot of them, sound good to me. In this case, the Arc eights I heard, they were very impressive.
Yeah, and I think the 10s will run you around 200 new, the 8s around 150. Sometimes you can find them cheaper.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to check those out. What else have you got?
All right, for the other one, it's the Rockville K9 subwoofer. And I don't know if you've seen it on EXO's channel, but he done a quick little review of them. And this is their kind of SPL focused subwoofer that you can get for around $120, I think it is. And it's got, I believe it's got a 3-inch coil, and it's got the sewn in tinsel leads with the 8 gauge running out. 3-inch coil, yes.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
a
rated to
nice
handle
looking.
1,000. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's a nice looking sub. I know. Didn't they have some? I think they had some issues with the first run of these. They had some things coming unglued or something.
Yes, I can't remember exactly what the issue is, but they did have an issue with the early models of these.
I think it maybe was the spider. But I think they have actually fixed that problem. But man, that is a beefy looking sub for 115 bucks, and that's a 12.
Right. Yeah,
Wow.
that Rockville, they're kind of the kings of putting out low cost items.
Yeah, budget for the win. I mean,
Yeah.
we can all spend a lot of money and get good stuff, but sometimes people don't have all that money. And again, the car audio stuff can be, you don't have to always start off with the best. You start off with something, and then you decide if you want to spend more money and get better, or if you just, some people would just, if these subs would last and the $115 Rockville amp would last, then they'll just use that for a few years and then they're done with car audio because they move on to the next phase of their life. Some people
Yeah.
like us in our 40s, and we're still playing with toys.
Yeah. We're Toys R Us kids, but never grow up.
That's right, and that's okay because you got to have fun. Because there's much worse things that we could be into, so that's why I say
Yeah.
it's good. So what about the $89 8-inch subs? We have a lot of those listed.
So when I was going to making up this doc, it popped in my head. I noticed a lot of high quality 8-inch subs are $89. Recently the HiQ8 that you just had a video of, that went on sale for $89 plus shipping. And I mean, that's an incredible deal for that. Started looking around. Image Dynamics sells their entry level ID8, which is a more just pure sound quality focused sub. I actually have one here. It's around $89 before shipping, and sometimes you can find it 89 with free shipping. And SoundCube, the HDS 208, is also $89 plus shipping. Now I've had one of those subs too, and that sub is, I would say, it's in the same class as the HiQ8 as far as is build, because it's extremely beefy and it's got the 8 gauge leads coming straight out of the sub. So that was quite a deal for that one too.
Wow, 8 gauge wire coming out of a 8.
Yeah.
That's beef. So I added a couple to your list that a couple of them I haven't used, but there's been a lot of feedback in them with them. The Massive Audio Summo, SUMMO, they have a pretty beefy 8-inch sub for around 80 bucks shipped. And if you read the reviews, it's got a lot of 5-star reviews on it. So
Yeah, and I think Rick uses those subs. Rick from the Meat, and he really talks good of them.
yeah, that's right. It was him. I was trying to think of who told us about those, but these look like 8 gauge on these as well.
Yep.
It says it's a 2-inch voice coil though, but you can choose between. Oh, it's just dual 4. Okay, you can get a 6.5-inch that's single 4. But yeah, it looks like it's the surround is sewn in here like the old kickers were.
Yep.
Pretty
And
cool
that
looking
that
stuff.
basket and motor are very similar to the SoundCube HDS 208.
Okay, so they may be sisters or brothers in love.
Yep.
Yeah, that's okay. Hey, good stuff. Different brands can sell good quality stuff. One of the other ones that I ran across, and again, I haven't used this one, so don't shoot me. But it's the Scar Audio, and it's the VD8, and this one is like, was it 59 bucks?
I'm
I'll
not
pull it.
familiar with this
I'll
one. Let's
pull it
see what
up
it
real
looks
quick
like.
so you guys can see it, because I'm sure many of you have seen it. Um, Again, it had a lot of good reviews. I'll share my screen again for those watching live. It's a dual 2 ohm, 59 bucks. I'll show you the basket. It looks um, it's the 4-spoke design. It's got the dual voice coil. It's got a pretty good sized magnet. It doesn't look like it has quite the throw as some of the other subs we've shown, but again, for 60 bucks shipped.
And I'm certain it's a shallower design, so you can fit in a lot more spaces.
Yep, and that's exactly what it says here. Shallow mount 8-inch sub. So there you go. 600 watts peak, 400 RMS, 2-inch voice coil, X max of 10.25 millimeters. So it's not.
If you're doing a tight build somewhere, shallow mount's definitely a good option to help you out.
Save the space and keep the bass. So let's see. The other thing, I think we've gone over all the subs. Of course, we talked about the HiQ8. We'll leave the link to the video I did on it so you can see. And
yeah, I mean, if you got 89 bucks, if I had 89 bucks and I was buying an 8-inch sub right now, that's probably the one I'd go for.
Yeah, I really like that sub. Can't wait to put all 4 of them in a box and try it out because I'm sure it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
So one of the other things, and I just mentioned it briefly earlier, is Sundown has something called a yard sale. And it is where they have, like, when the subwoofers and amplifiers and stuff come in, they open the box and they quality visually inspect it and they hook it up to their test bench and they try it out. Well, if the sub has like a scratch, if it has a ding on the magnet, or if the magnet's not polished fully, there's a lot of different reasons why they go into the yard sale. But it scares you a little bit when you read about the yard sale because they say, oh, it may work, it may not. But I think in most cases the stuff does work and it's just something really insignificant. But when Rob was talking before about the SA12, those go for, what was it, $249?
Or $215, I think.
$215, right, brand new, shipped. But the ones in the yard sale were $109 shipped. So you were saving over $100. And unfortunately, they went through those before I could grab one. But I did get a couple of the 8s, the SA8s, to kind of compare with the HiQ, the Safard HiQ 8s, because they seem to be about the same beefiness as far as the build quality and the design, what they're designed to be used for. So I'm going to have fun comparing those.
Looks like you got an 8-inch shootout brewing over there.
Yes, I have another 8-inch sub, and I'm going to talk about that when we get to the picks of the week.
All right.
Yep. Teaser for the win. I don't ever do those kind of teaser videos, though. So yeah, $89 8s, man. If you only got $100 and need a subwoofer, these are good times.
Yeah, and if you can't tell, D and I, we love the 8-inch subs.
I think those who shy away from 8-inch subs thinking they're too small, they haven't heard one recently. Because again, not everybody needs to break windshields in their car. Get one for your wife or, for your daily driver.
Yeah,
a couple of them.
The trio of 8W6s. That's what started off for me, and I'm sure it did for a lot of people.
Yeah, that is still a killer setup.
Yeah.
Hard to find, though. So what about the regular speakers? Looks like you have a pick for a component set.
Yeah, well, speaking of $89, the Savard Rap Series component set, we got to hear those in 2 different vehicles in the meet. And they're just a good, solid value, $89. They got a nice mid-bass, nice tweeter, decent crossover, something to get you started.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen again here so you guys can see it. They are nice looking, and they have a soft dome tweeter. They have a couple different mounts. You can either do surface mount or flush mount, but I personally like the soft dome. I like how they sound. But even look at this 6.5. It's not doesn't look like a super cheap 6.5. It actually is a pretty decent driver, and then you have your crossover network as well. So for $84.99 is what they're going for right now.
Oh,
So yeah, even plus $4.49 shipping. So about $90 you can get these. That's a really good deal for a nice little component system.
yeah, it's just a little budget component set. It's not gonna knock your socks off in sound quality or loudness, but it's a definitely a quality upgrade.
All right. So what about some of the other speakers? What else have you? What else you got? I know
Okay.
there's some Parts Express and some other ones we've talked about before.
Yep. So these are like the DIY speakers, and people that are on the forums might be more familiar with these than others. But we can start off with the silver flutes. These are just Madisound and Parts Express. They sell a lot of speakers individually outside, but we have links here to the Amazon store. They're just a nice 6.5 inch quality driver that you can pick up for around $40 each, ship somewhere around there. So those are well known, the silver flutes, as a budget mid bass. And then we jump into the Peerless Vifa XT-25 tweets, and those as well are well known. It's just a basic tweet. Now, using this in car audio applications, you've got an exposed ring coming out the top, or I forget, I don't know exactly what you'd call it, but so you might have to make that in consideration when you're mounting these, but that's just a good all around tweet, and those kind of have to be on axis, I believe, to work well. But outside of those, yeah. So okay, so you can see the little dome here in the middle, and the mounting options are going to be a little bit different. But I think this is the tweeter Lynn had in his Porsche.
Yeah, unfortunately didn't get a chance to hear his car, but I know
Yeah.
Vifa's they've been around for a while, and they've always made good speakers, and I think they have OEM for people too.
Yeah, well, they started off with telephony, I think, and then Peerless picked them up. So it's kind of, it's been through a few companies. It's the same tweeter, though. And then jumping on to the next one, the Dayton Audio Point Source 3.5 inch. This one, you've heard, as far as budgets go, you hear a lot of good things about this. And it's a full range driver. And anybody that's heard my setup knows that I use, I have a tweetless setup right now. So this is a driver that you can use like that on a budget.
Yeah, I was trying to pull that one up as you were talking. I think I got it right here. Is it an 8 ohm? Do they have a 4 ohm version too?
So yes, they have a 4 ohm version. I think I might have linked to the 8 ohm version.
So that's the 3.5 inch point source 4 inch driver, about $23.
Yep.
It's a sweet looking little driver.
Yep. That's something, a lot of pillar builds for those people using these drivers. And you can do quite well without a tweeter. It's surprising actually nowadays how well you can do.
Yeah, Parts Express is just killing it here lately.
Yeah.
They've really got some good deals with speakers. Of course, they always have. It's just been kind of that little hidden fact, that only some people knew about. But the
Yeah, and
secret
if
is
you're
out.
looking for a deal and you're willing to run active and put your own set together, you can find them out there. I mean, Dayton makes a full line of drivers, and you can pretty much get anything you need just from Dayton alone.
Miss Daisy likes that. She likes all those drivers.
Yeah.
There's another failed bad joke. All right. So what about some car audio accessories? People wants to save money on their accessories. What we got?
So I don't know if you've heard of Ill Customs, but they make a lot of accessories, and they do a lot of the bus bars, the uh, reducers. Then they'll do like just the straight up battery clamps, and they do them all on the cheap. And I've used the reducers. I have some of the bus bars I'm using right now on my test bench actually. Not the bus bars, but the battery clamps with the lugs on them. So yeah, they're pretty high quality for the price that you're going to pay for these.
Yeah, it looks like most of those are going to be aluminum, not copper. I guess that's what you should expect for a deal. But they did have one um, item here that's copper. That's
Yeah,
the amp reducer.
they do sell some copper ones, but obviously they're going to cost you a little bit more money.
Yep, yeah, you should expect that. But yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
So I also put in Toolmaker Metalworks, which I'm not sure if they're on Amazon or not. But we'll come back to them after Rob talks about the
Timco?
Timco. Yeah, what about Timco?
Okay, so a lot of people are already hip to this and using welding wire in their vehicles. Now, you're going to run into a few issues. You know, it's a little less flexible, but the jacket is very, very sturdy and it's much cheaper. And another side thing is it's slightly smaller than car audio wire. So a 1/0 welding cable is going to equal like a 2 gauge car audio wire.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it right now, and I can attest to the fact that it is slightly smaller, but a lot of the difference in size is car audio cable. Um, they and
High
guys,
strand counts.
yeah, well, the strand count is a little bit higher, but they also they more lightly weave everything together because the welding cable, you're right, it does use less strands, but the weight and everything is the same. But the reason when they use less strands, because they're not designed to be super flexible, because for a welding machine, you don't have to have it where it fits through crevices like you need in car audio. But in most cases, it is flexible enough to use it for what you need it for. But as far as the actual copper that's in it, I don't think there's a lot of difference in the actual weight of the copper because you're having less strands, but you're still getting a very similar amount of copper. But yeah, the 1.0 gauge welding cable, yeah, that's a good deal. But you can also get 2.0 and up to 4 aught welding cable
Yeah,
too. It's much cheaper than
yeah.
trying to buy the name brand.
And if you're looking for some car audio specific, you can go to Sky High Car Audio, which does the oversized 1/0. So it actually is bigger than a standard 1/0 American wire gauge, but
Yeah,
it's a little more expensive too.
the other one too, Rob, that I didn't even put in here that I just thought about is the GP car audio.
Oh yeah,
They have their own too, probably just like
yeah,
Sky High. They call it the Super OFC or something, but
yeah,
it's a little bit bigger than the
yeah.
regular 1/0 too.
They do it, and I think New Concepts also does it.
Yep.
But on that tip, a lot of these companies sell the speaker wire too. But one that people might not know about is Monoprice for speaker wire. They sell OFC speaker wire very cheaply. I believe you could get 15 foot of 12 gauge for around less than $20 shipped for 50 foot. So that's not bad. Now, I will say I have used this, and I will say that it compares to Sky High 14 gauge to 12 gauge. So it's slightly undersized, but for the money, I mean, it's still cheaper than the Sky High 14 gauge.
Yeah, the one thing I've noticed about the Monoprice speaker cable, which I have bought a lot of it myself too, is you'll notice this with speaker cables. Some of them are real easy to separate the positive and negative, and some of them are like
Yeah,
the Monoprice stuff. Get your Hulk on, or just make sure you
yeah,
slide it pretty well before you open it up because it is tight.
yeah,
But yeah, it's make sure you get the kind. I don't even know if they sell any that's not OFC. I think it's all OFC. But just check and make
yeah,
sure don't get the CCA stuff, even for speaker
yeah,
wire. Don't do that. Get copper. That's what you want.
yeah. Run
So,
smaller copper if you need to save money.
yeah, or save your money and then get your
Yeah,
cable, something like that. But yeah, Monoprice and those who are into home audio as well, HDMI cables, RCA cables. Wow. TV mounts. I mean, seriously, it's crazy the stuff they have. In fact, my Bluetooth speaker that I rolled around last night in the neighborhood when I was thumping some Thriller, it came from Monoprice. It was like $100, and that thing thumps.
Yeah, Monoprice, they do a lot of stuff very well.
They do. They should sponsor us. You
Yeah.
listen to Monoprice? We
Mr.
gave you
Monoprice, come
props.
be on our podcast.
That's right. Hook us up while we're hooking you up. So some other, what about some car audio tool deals? It looks like you got some of those listed here.
Okay, so I have the Dayton IM6, which has already been a pick of the week for me. It's just a RTA calibrated mic. You can upload a calibrated file on your Android, on your Windows, on your iOS device. So it basically gives you an RTA with the app. You load the calibrated file, you're good to go. Another one, you know well, the S&D DD1. Now, people might not consider this a deal, but to me, it truly is a deal. $150. It's a lot up front, but for the amount of I guess use that you can get out of it, especially someone like us that's testing amps and just messing around. I mean, it really it saves you a lot of time.
I agree wholeheartedly with the DD1. Um, and it looks like you included some multimeters too. I'll pull that link up while you're talking about it so people can see which ones you picked.
Okay, so as far as multimeters, one I really like for a cheap multimeter is the Craftsman. You can get it less than $20. It's got a nice jacket on it. It's got a little kickstand on there, and it's very accurate. If you're looking to spend a little money on a multimeter, go with the Craftsman. If you're wanting to step up a little bit, maybe go to the Klein, and then if you really want to get serious, obviously you're going to get the Fluke. But as far as a budget multimeter, this is my pick. It's what I use every day.
That's cool. I use the flute like for the clamp and stuff, but I'll be honest, a lot of times when I'm just doing quick stuff, I grab that freebie that you get from
Harbor
Harbor Freight.
Yep, I got some of those too.
And man, yeah, it's costs less than a 9-volt battery, and
Yeah.
works good, especially for battery voltage and stuff. That's what I normally use them for. But yeah, that's
Well, I mean, if you're going to Harbor Freight, I mean, take the coupon with you and get it for free.
absolutely just to have one, just in
Yeah.
case. But yeah, this Craftsman does look like it's built really well. Again, for less than $20, you can't go wrong
Right.
with that.
So this
SP
last one you could speak on.
Yeah, so I don't have it to show right now, but SPL meters actually took this one, and I'll show it right here, to the old school meet in Texas. It's the SPL Lab Mini base meter,
Yep.
and it's $244 now. I think it used to be $199, so they jumped up
It
quite
did.
a bit in price, unfortunately. But the neat thing about it is it's just simple. I mean, you just plug it into the cigarette lighter and you hit mode, and you either want to hold the SPL or you let it just continuously change. But we tested several cars with this, and it's very simple. Now the other meter, the one that I've showed before, the where is it? The APM-2 by SSA Audio or SS Audio. This one's considerably more. I think this one's like $350, but
Right.
it uses an app on the phone, and I'm going to stop the screen here so I think you guys have probably seen, I've got the box of it here, but this one actually, the only thing that's in the box is really just the unit itself, so you don't really see anything here other than the unit. And it's got some suction cups, and this Bluetooths to your phone, Android or iPhone, and then you do everything else on the phone. That's good and bad, because if you're trying to do other things with your phone, it can be bad. But the good thing is it actually lets you record video while showing your SPL. It has a little display that shows your current SPL, the frequency and all that. But there are some caveats with the quality of video you can use. Like, I think you can do 1080p 30, but you can't do 1080p 60. You can't do 4K 30 or 4K 60. And if you guys don't know what I mean by that, then don't worry about it. But basically what I'm saying is there's a limit to the video quality while you're using the app. Now, you can still, if you had a different phone and just use a dummy phone connected via Bluetooth to this. It doesn't have to have cell service or anything, it just has to have Bluetooth. And it can be a tablet, Android tablet, iPad, iPhone, whatever. You can still
And
connect to
what's
this.
that one cost? 350, 360?
I think it's either 350 or 399. I'm gonna have to look it up now because I don't remember.
I think it is 399. I think you might be right. You know, and that gets me almost to the range of thinking about the Turn Pro Magnum, though. That's the only issue I have with that particular one, because the Turn Pro Magnum, I believe, is 450.
Yeah, this one's 399,
Yeah,
and that is kind of pushing the price. Now they do put these on sale occasionally and drop them 50 or 60 bucks, but yeah, you're right. That's kind of high, but there's some gives you some different examples here what you see on the screen. So it's cool. Yeah, it's expensive. So what we'll try to do is I'll try to get up with Mr. Harris or his assistant and see if we can get in one of the term labs and just kind of compare the three of them. Because you're right, if you're going to spend that much, the term lab, yeah, obviously gives you a lot more features. But then with the term lab, what do you have to have?
computer.
A computer.
Yeah, that's true.
So obviously with this one you have to have a cell phone, but you have to figure that into the cost as well, having a computer for the term lab. But being able to do the extra things you can do with the term lab is cool.
Oh yeah, I mean you've got basically an RTA, a amp dyno, somewhat. You know, I was on the website just perusing, and for less than $1,000, you can have a very versatile piece of equipment.
Yes, and Mr. Harris, if you're listening and you need some input about how to make the term lab even better, let's talk, because Rob and I have talked about this too, about how you can make that term lab like the ultimate tool. If it could do
Yes.
what it did plus do the stuff the dyno does and some others, I'm sure the price will be quite a bit higher though, because you have to have a screen and you have to have some kind of a computer built in. But
Right.
yeah, that would be cool. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So that's not really a deal, either one of those. But people who are
No,
watching, the SPL Mini is probably your best bet if you're looking for a budget, because it does work and it works good, and it's
it's easy to use. I used it. I never touched it before. I grabbed it out of your bag while you were chit chatting, and I just started putting it in people's rides and seeing what they were doing SPL wise. So
yeah, very simple, and we
yeah,
like simple and relatively cheap.
right.
But like I said before, some of these tools, if you get a couple friends in, and you know, I'll pitch in 50 bucks or 75 bucks and just share it amongst you if you trust your friends enough.
Yeah.
That's one way to save a little bit of money too, because you don't always need an SPL meter unless you know, test every night or something.
Or if you're competing or something like that.
Yeah, we don't, but we're not in that level. So,
No,
what about your pick of the week, or do you want me to go first?
I got one,
Okay,
and
hit
I'm
it.
ready. You know what this is?
Oh, let me mute my mic so I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the I don't know how you say it. Lapai. It's the LP 2020A little amp right here. This thing, now it doesn't do a lot of power. I think it does 15 watts or something. Well, Derek tested it. But this thing sounds very good on bookshelf speakers. It is crazy how good it sounds. And you can pick this up for like 30 bucks, $35, somewhere like that. So if you just need something to test speakers, or you have a little man cave like I do and want to hook speakers up to it, this is a cool little amp to have.
So, fun fact: hold it up again, Rob, so we can see the model number of that one. Tilt it. You got to talk, so it'll switch.
All right, LP 2020 A plus.
Okay, so just so you know, they don't make the A plus anymore. They make the 2020 Ti and the 2020 something else.
Uh oh.
They don't make the A plus, and the A plus was the one Resound or whatever as the top dog. What happened was, you know,
What
that
had
one has
happened? What had happened
what
was
had happened was that one uses a Texas Instrument chip, and what they started doing is putting Class D chips in them. So they no longer use the TriPath chip in the new ones. They use the Class D chip, And I don't know if you've ever seen the guy Kirby Meets Audio on YouTube.
Yep.
Okay, so he did a video where he showed, I don't know if it was the A Plus and the new one, or if it was two versions of the new one that came out. But he talked about, one versus the other, and he kind of sound quality demoed them. And he said he couldn't really tell much difference. But a lot of people, that A Plus one that's no longer available, that one used to be $20 all day, every day on Amazon, and all of a sudden they were gone. And then now I don't know what they sell for on eBay, but you might want to check. But not to diminish what you said, because even the new versions of the Class D versions of that amp are great for around 20 or $25. And I took it to work one time. I let a buddy listen to it. We were in a control room situation, and I hooked it up to some old Boston CR8 speakers we had laying around, and he could not believe that little amp made those speakers sound like they did. It's very impressive.
Yeah, it's surprising. It is. It sounds very good up until a point. Now, if you try to get too loud, then you're going to see its flaws. But yeah, it's definitely a bargain.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. So I don't have mine in my hand right now, but I'm going to talk about my pick, which is we teased about it a little bit earlier, but the Dayton Audio Ultimax 8-inch subwoofer. And right now, depending on when you're listening to this, it's on sale for $110. It's actually been cheaper than this before, but if you look around, you can find a 10% off Parts Express coupon, and then they give you free shipping for over $100. So you can get this for just over $100. And this is a dual 2-ohm voice coil. It has 16 millimeters of X-Max. It says it's one of the highest excursion on the market. 300 RMS power handling, and I don't know if it says how big the voice coil is. I thought I had that. It's the 2-inch voice coil, resonant frequency of 31.6 hertz, sealed 0.35, vented 0.75. So very reasonable size boxes there you can choose. Mount it in your car and get the cabin gain and all that. I got one of these because I wanted to compare it with the Savard and the Sundown. So I don't know about a shootout, but I'm definitely going to try all three of them, and I'll report back as to which one I think is the better one, or if they're all about the same, because it could be the fact that, hey, they all sound about the same. So it'll be interesting to find out.
And I've been curious about those Ultimax subs myself. They look pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things. Of course, a lot of people use them as home theater subs too, but they work well in car audio. They've got low FS. They work in small boxes. They handle good power, so sounds good.
Yeah.
So how's our audience feedback and our podcast reviews going?
Okay, so we've got 37 ratings. We're getting very close. And a matter of fact, since we said we're going to give away at 100, I decided. You said you'll give away an amp, I'll give away a sub. I will give away mine at 50 if we get 50, and then the 100 can be coming up. So 13 more ratings, written reviews if you want to be considered for it. But let's see what we got here. It says, excellent podcast. It's about time someone started a podcast about mobile audio. We thought the same thing. These guys have good topics. So thanks for review. That was Shunt Ethos. Let's see, we got M. Hemrick here. Keep it up, Big D and Vega. It says, keep it up, guys. Keep on sharing these old school stereo stories and the knowledge. It will help us improve us all. And let's see what we got here. Got a few more talking about watching our channel, different stuff like that. So we got a lot of reviews, and we're very close to our goal of 100. But even at 50, I'll give away the sub at 50.
Sweet. Somebody's going to get a new subwoofer. That's awesome. Thanks for the feedback, guys. We appreciate that. Rob and I are what I would consider enthusiasts in car audio. Now, there are definitely a lot of people out there who know a lot more than we do. So we'll probably need to leave the caveat at the beginning of each of these podcasts that everything we talk about is our opinion. And I hope you guys understand that whatever we say here is not written in a book anywhere. It's our experiences, things like that. So That's how it is. Now we plan on having guests on in the future who do have a lot of experience in the industry, and the things they'll talk about will be, the things you could put in a book. Anything I say you don't want to put in a book. You probably just want to ball it up and throw it away. So YouTube. I know you've been working so much, Rob, and I honestly, this week, I've had stuff to do at night too, and I haven't really watched a lot. Now, I don't know if we talked about it in the last podcast, but the laser machine that Steve Mead got and the stuff he's been doing with that. Did you see the sausage McMuffin that he put the logo
I
on?
seen. I didn't watch the video, but I seen the pic. I just hadn't had the chance to watch it. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is beast mode right there.
I'll tell you what, I did get a chance to watch is that Everyday Audios. They interviewed Andy. I don't know how you say his Wayheimer.
I don't want to mess it up either.
Yeah, and that was a really good episode. I think it's one of their best episodes yet. So if you hadn't checked them out, check them out. They're on YouTube.com.
Yeah,
Slash.
and I caught the end of that one, Rob, and I think you were
Yeah.
on there too because I saw you comment at the same time I did. I didn't get to see the beginning, and I
Yeah.
caught it way at the end when they were talking off-topic stuff. But I'm gonna go back and listen to that one for sure. Watch it. I'll have to ask T-Fade. I don't think they do an audio version. They just do a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So,
gotta go watch it.
but if you have YouTube Premium, you can start up the video and you can turn it off, and the audio still plays. So if you pay the extra for $10 a month or whatever it is to get the Google Play Music and all that, you can listen to it offline, things like that. Download it. But I'll check that out. The part that I heard, it was very interesting. That dude, yeah, he was throwing some knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That was awesome. So what you got coming up? You got them 12-inch subs finished up yet?
So we're starting to wrap it up. We've got the Clarion still in there. I hope to have that video out soonish. After that, there's just two more drivers, and I'm saving the most expensive driver of the shootout for very last. And then after that, I'm going to do a big wrap-up video on all of them. And I've got a very cool idea for that. As it gets closer, I'll let you guys know what that is. It's going to be something I've never done before, but it'll be cool.
Sweet. Looking forward to that. And so how do you feel just going through this? How do you feel about the shootout? I mean, people don't realize how much work it is to do all this. How do you get tired of, I'm testing another sub? Is it like that, or is it kind of like, oh man, this is so cool, can't wait to try the next one?
It's been the latter for the most part, but there has been a sub that, I just got tired of listening to it because there's one sub that's disappointed me, and you guys will know soon enough. So, but the rest of them, yeah, man, it's just awesome getting in there and testing. And I didn't explain it to a lot of people, but what I do is I don't know what they're going to score. So I keep them in for at least a week. Every day I score them in the categories that I chose. So every day I write down a score. At the end of that week, I add up all those scores, and then I use the weighted factor to come up with with the final grade. So, honestly, I didn't know the Polk was going to score exactly the same as the Infinity until it happened. So I didn't get to explain that much, but I will in the final wrap up for sure.
Yeah, I was mainly wondering about, when I test amps back to back to back to back, sometimes I'm like, man, I want to do something other than testing an amp. And sometimes you can kind of feel like, I guess with the Korean amps when I did the 3000 and 3500s, I kind of felt like, man, I'm ready to be done with this so I can do something different. But what's cool about what you're doing is it's such a wide range of prices and everything, even though it's a lot of different subs.
Yeah.
But I know you can kind of get into that thing, well, I need to finish this roundup, but I got an idea of something different I want to do too.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's cool. I'm glad you're doing it.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, them subs are great. I mean, the sound you're getting out of them subs in the same enclosure is just, they're totally different. I mean, it's hard to explain, really.
That's cool. We'll look forward to the next video of that.
Yeah.
So
What you got?
So I tested or played around with the Savard 8-inch sub a couple weeks ago, and this past week I unboxed the MA Audio Com 1, and a lot of people, I've got a pretty good feedback already on that video. I think it's over 30-some thousand views, which is pretty good for me for a few days. But the main reason I split this one up, and because people say, why don't you dyno it? Why don't you show us more at work and everything? Well, the purpose of me splitting it up was I was trying to get more information for the video where I talk about the amp, talk about the design, talk about more information about it. I wanted to get some, and I was hoping that it would generate enough interest where people who knew about it would talk about it more, so I'd have background information. Because the background information I got from the people I talked to before I released the video, it was very minimal as far as how many were made, were they just available for dealers, what was the true price, because the retail is like $3,500. But I've gotten some information. I don't feel like I've gotten a lot of solid stuff yet, but working on the dyno test of the amp. I'm going to show the guts. I'm going to demo it with some speakers, stuff like that. Show those normal videos. But that will all be one, and that'll be coming up next. The follow-up for the OSS meet, I'm going to try to finish that. I've got 4 or 5 amp dyno videos in the editor that I haven't finished yet, so I need to finish all those. And I'm pretty close to doing the in-car test, which I've talked about before. I bought me a second battery. When I get a chance, I'm going to get that in the car so I can go ahead and just build me a little basic amp rack so I can swap in and out the amplifiers I talked about testing, the Brazilian, the Class D, Class AB, multiple different ones.
That's the one I've been looking forward to.
Yeah, me too, honestly, because I've used the Punch 200 in there for so long on that 10W7, and it sounds great, honestly. So if something else goes in there sounds better, I'm gonna be impressed, because that's a pretty good match there, pretty good setup.
And that MA, someone had just asked us in the after show if you had a MA. I think it was last week or the week before, and we couldn't really say. So I'm pretty sure that person was happy at least.
Yeah, it's funny, man, because when I showed you that amp, when the guy contacted me about it, I had never seen it. I mean, maybe I had seen it and just not really paid attention to it.
Yeah.
But when I sent it to you and I sent it to a few other people, it's like, whoa, what do you got there? And then I started thinking, I'm like, well, that might generate some interest. Some people might want to watch that. So in a lot of cases when I get this stuff and make videos, it's not stuff that I would want to use in a car or anything like that. It's really just trying to show off what it is and then explain it, talk about the history of it, and things like that. It's mainly to kind of build the library up, so people will, if they're looking up MA Audio Com 1, they'll find my video and they'll be able to find more information about this rare amp that not many people know about. So that's kind of the goal. That's what I've been doing for years. That's what I like to do, is to build up a library of information.
Over 500 videos strong.
It's really not. I looked at it before. It's like 440. I said over 500 because that's the number that I actually have uploaded, but they're not all public. Some of them are still unlisted or private or whatever. So yeah, I'm not
almost over 500.
Almost over. I like that. Almost over 500.
We're gonna do it like Rockville rates their amps. Almost.
Yeah, we'll give 3 different ratings. Almost 500 if you want the max rating. But yeah, cool. Well, that is about our hour for the podcast here. Again, if you're in the live stream right now, and we encourage you, most weeks it's going to be Wednesday evening starting about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join us for the live session. We do a little Q&A. We do the show, and then after the show, we chat with people who are in the room still. We answer questions and all that good stuff. So
yeah, if you're in the audio podcast, definitely check it out. We have a lot of fun, and we kind of get a little off cuff there.
Yeah, we enjoy the guys hanging out, and we appreciate everybody who's watching it live too. We know everybody can't do it, so if you're listening to this later, that's cool too. But if you do get a chance to listen to us one of the weeks on a Wednesday night, of course this is Thursday, but most weeks it'll be Wednesday, then make sure you check us out. YouTube.com/12vtalk. You can check out HiFiVega at youtube.com/HiFiVega. check me out at youtube.com/BigDWiz. And our hour's up. If you're on the stream here, stick around. But until next week, we are out of here.
Out of here.
All right, cool. All right, guys. I'm going to pull over my laptop here so I can see the screen a little better about some of the questions you guys have asked. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff in the chat.
I didn't even get to check the chat out. And stop my recording here.
Halloween was good. Thank you for asking. Yes, we have a few future guests. I don't want to say who the one is coming up next, just in case something happens and he/she or she can't join us. But yeah, I'm hoping that works out.
And Derek's talked to several people about getting on, so we've got we've got some stuff to line up. But
yeah, I enjoy the interview part because, of course, I enjoy what Rob and I do as well, especially episodes like this where we're not getting super technical into the things that I don't feel like I'm an expert on. But, buying stuff, I'm an expert because I buy stuff.
Yeah.
And saving money, I mean, I've always been that way. I don't, I don't buy something unless it's a deal, unless I have to have it. Let's see. Some of the most amazing...
We have to have a lot of things, though.
That's right. It's part of our jobs to provide it for you guys. Some of the most amazing new car audio goodies. I think that was the one that you touched on, Rob. I don't know if anybody in the chat has been keeping up with SEMA, or if there's been any new car stuff released that I haven't seen. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of the new.
Yeah, maybe we need to get someone to sponsor us to go to SEMA. Take 12V Talk on the road, man.
Man, that'd be sweet because we could do finals and then we could do the OSS meet, and then I think SEMA's right after that.
Yeah.
I'll probably get fired though from my day job.
Too. Use all 3 weeks of my vacation.
Let's see. PSI subs. Notice they are made in the USA. I think they're assembled here. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I haven't ever used them, but I know EXO uses them.
Yeah, they have all the soft parts and stuff, and they assemble the sub. So and they do it here. I mean, obviously, I don't know they don't make the parts. They get them from China or whatever. But hey, it's cool. Supporting a U.S. company, that's great. There are people actually doing the work. That's cool too.
Here. Did you see about the car audio idol?
Yes, that's exactly where I was. I got a question. Who was your idol in car audio community when you guys were here, when you guys were growing up? I'll let you go first, Rob.
So, my idol, I would say, would have to be Alma Gates. That was one of the idols because I thought it was so cool. The way her story of how she got into it, and I got a chance to meet her at finals in, what was it, 98, I think it was. So that was one of my main ones. Mark Fiduka, liked his stuff. Obviously Wayne Harris done crazy cool stuff with Rockford, and after that, so what about you? Who was?
Yeah, so going way back, I would have to probably say Wayne Harris from way back in the day because I was a big Rockford. I always have been big Rockford fan back in the day, and the Power 1000, obviously his story about how it wouldn't fit and he had to cut it down, and then he put the LED meters in there and all that cool stuff, things like that. And then just meeting the guy, I mean, such a personable guy, to have done all the things that he's done and to be as humble as he was and just really cool hanging out with us. A lot of times they say you don't ever want to meet your idol because you'll be disappointed. And I think in this case it was completely opposite. I was actually blown away by how cool he was in person. Carolyn Hall Young, I taught with her a few times, before she got really sick. And I hate that we didn't have this going and couldn't have talked to her via podcast because she was a very inspirational person for somebody who was dealing with what she was dealing with for as long as she was. She had such a positive outlook on life, and I think a lot of people, don't think about how good you have it and, how things could be. And when we hear her story and things like that, it really it put life in a different perspective for me. You think about having a bad day and, like my boss or whatever, stuff like that, and then you think about being as sick as she was for as long as she was, and just some days not being able to get out of bed, and hey, somebody cut us off on the way to work. We're having a bad day. Really, get over it. You're able to walk around. You got good health, all that stuff. So she was a true inspiration, and talking with her really was cool. I just hate that we didn't get her on here, and I hate that we can't get the other guy that I want to get on here who doesn't want to do it. And somebody knows Jim Fosgate, please poke him and say, be on the show with Big D and Vega, because they want to talk with you about some of your old stuff. I understand him wanting to be private and not wanting to talk and not wanting to be on the show. But maybe once we get some of the other heavy hitters, he'll realize, hey, it is important for us to archive, this information, because I'm sure he's got so much in his head that is not out there, or bits and pieces. Some people know about it, some people don't. That's the kind of thing I'd love to have on our show, but we'll see. Maybe. Let's see. Old school subs have odd ohm loads. My first sub was Earthquake Magma, a dual 3. Also notice the JL W7 is 3. That is a great question. I'd have to ask some of the sub people why. Now I know, like the old JLs, why they did the dual 6 ohm on the W6s, because you could get 3 of them
on one amp.
On 1 amp at 4 ohms mono, because you wire series into each. That would be 12 ohms. 2 of them would be 6 ohms, and then 3 of them would be 4 ohms mono. And that was a very popular ohm load to run amps at, the old school amps, because they were all 2-channel or 4-channel. We didn't really have monoblock amps back then. But as far as the JL now being a 3 ohm, that would be a good question for Manville.
Yeah, and I don't know now, but my theory back in the day was, the W6s, they took a little more power than most other subs. So, most people would run 4 subs on a 1 ohm, say, cheater amp or a 225 or something like that. So, if you're running 3 ohms, you're getting a little more power to each sub.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see here. Yeah, Black Friday, we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out on that. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea. Unfortunately, what we kind of planned this show, we kind of wanted it to be, which it can't be, but we wanted it to be timeless, especially for the old school stuff we talk about, because that stuff is never going to really change. Obviously, the things we're talking about now, some of them, this is a deal right now, but it may not be a deal in 2 years, because that model number may not even be available. But the old school stuff is things that we wanted to talk about that we knew wouldn't change. But
yeah, kind of evergreen topics, and that's mainly what we stick to. But
yeah, we like talking about the new stuff too, because we use it as well.
So Bowman asked, do you prefer 1,000+ watt systems over 300 to 500 watt systems, total system power? I don't. I like running as efficiently as possible. Maybe that's just being old school, but that's what I like to do. I don't like to have a ton of power.
Yeah, I don't. Currently, I don't have an extra battery or a high output alternator in my daily driver, so I stay well under 1,000 watts for right now. Now, I did recently buy a second battery, and I'm going to hook that up mainly to test those amps I want to try out with the 10W7. But I'll let you know if that changes once I try those amps out, and if I get converted over to needing more power. I just hate that my cord charges at 13.8. Guess I do need to get a higher output alternator so I can charge higher. I guess that's a Honda. That's a Honda thing, I guess.
Yeah. Might mean the Suburban charges like 14.1 or 14.2, something like that.
Pioneer is better than the Prime, is what Ram-NVX15 Larry F says. He's used both, so that's good feedback. Pioneer subs were good, old school gold logo.
Yep, tuning fork and Omega symbol ones. Those are cool. They're my favorite. Matter of fact, we used to call those the poor man JLs. Did you guys ever refer to them like that?
I didn't, but I've heard you and somebody
Yeah.
else say that. And I've heard this before too. Somebody mentions you have to use the bass knob with the Pioneer. Actually,
Huh?
Dean in 5-Star Car Stereo told me, he's like, when you do that, when you test out that Pioneer, make sure you plug in the bass knob. He said it sounds different when you plug in the bass knob.
What in the world?
And he's not the only one that said that. Said it just sounds a lot better. So I don't know. To try that. The Wolfram 2400. Did anybody get it? That's a good question. I don't know if Ryan. I know Ryan is moving. I don't know if he's on, but I know he was going to get one. He should be one of the first ones to get it since he's going to dyno test it for him. But the early model that he did, if they didn't change anything, that's going to be a good deal. But now the price is like $249. It was $199, so going up $50, and then that kind of kills the whole deal. Yeah, RXD T2 or RXM T2 for the Rockville. I've actually got a video. That's one of the ones in the cooker of the RXD, which is the RXM is the Marine. The RXD is the non-Marine. Mine is an RX M, but they're exactly the same amp, other than the M version being coated on the board and being silver instead of black. But I'll teaser, gone. I was impressed with that amp, especially for $115. I don't know that you can get a better amp. Well, it's not a mono block. It doesn't have a bass knob, but still, the power versus performance and the sound quality sounds good. Tar Amps 3000 for $220. Yep,
You tested one.
I did. Yep, it does its power for sure. Had a ball amp when I was poor, nothing like that. Beat blocker. Somebody stole your term.
Oh no, he got it wrong though.
Oh, it's
It's a block
beater.
He stole your term. You called it a beat blocker.
He's probably making fun of me. Don't
I
even
hope
realize
he was.
it. Let's see. Is it possible to get a hold of a Kenwood KAC 921, 923, 1021, 1023? I've had several people ask that, and it's probably the same dude over and over asking. But I haven't yet. But just remember, people, there are thousands of amplifiers that were made over the years, and I can't do them all. But yeah, if I run across any of those, I will definitely test them. Especially the 1021 and 1023. I think the 921, 923 is kind of I don't know, I'd say it'd be a less popular. Of course, I don't think the 1021 or 1023 would be a popular video. It would still be fun though to know, because I think
I like the Kenwood PS. Those ones. That's what I'd be interested in. You know which ones I'm talking about? The Performance series. They were polished. They just had the fins on top.
I don't remember that. Yeah, I have to look them up
Yeah.
and see. What years were those from? Do you remember?
Late 90s,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, that was when I was out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Pack make a universal bass knob. Yeah, they do. I don't know. It's something about using an inline RCA bass knob that doesn't do it for me. Although I know, because I test these amps, I know what the bass knobs do. When you plug the bass knob in, all it does is whatever you have your gain set at, the bass knob is an attenuator. In other words, it doesn't go any higher than that. It just turns down the gain or turns down the level of the amp.
Yeah.
So you only get up to the most that you have your gain set up when you turn the knob up.
I
So
actually like that though.
yeah, and there's nothing
Because then
wrong with
someone
that.
can't get in there and just jam your gain up, you know.
That's true, but it's just mental for me because I like to be able to plug it into the amp. The RCA
Yeah.
version, I'm sure, will be the same, but I'm just weird like that. So
Yeah, it's exactly the same, I think.
yeah, power bass. Who was it? Bubba at the North Carolina meet a couple of years ago had some power bass stuff, and he really liked it. I haven't personally used it,
Me neither.
but
The Infinity Beta 5 channel. I didn't know the Beta made a 5 channel. I thought it was the Kappa Green, the 202A or something like that.
no. What is the Class D one? That is a Kappa. You're right. It's not a Beta. I'm not aware of the Beta 5 channel either. I'm scared of the refurb. Who buys car audio at retail price? Well, if somebody doesn't know any better and they go into a car audio shop, they may. PDX M12 for $800 4 years ago. David, is that PDX M12 still working okay for you? Yeah, Sonic Electronics always has really good deals, holiday specials. That's actually where I got the NVX branded sound deadener.
That's good sound ender, though.
It is.
I've used some of it before. It's high quality.
It is.
Matter of fact, I mean, the NVX, all their stuff, I know they outsource some of it and it's their house brand, but they got some quality equipment.
Yeah, I agree. And sound deadener, it doesn't have to be the top brand stuff for me, but if it works, it works, and that stuff worked. And it came in just the big sheets. It was like 4 of those big heavy sheets per box, and I got like 3 boxes for $100 or something. It's a very good price.
Yeah.
Um,
Damien, I have 475 in my 6 linear power amps. That's
there you
that's
go.
a good deal.
Yeah, no doubt. I bought a 12-inch W7 and a Pro Edge box new for $650 out the door. That's a good price for a brand new W7
Yeah.
in a factory box. Sundown yard sale is a good deal. I'm curious if anybody who's on the stream now or watching this later, has anybody actually bought anything from there that didn't work? Because they don't let you return it or anything like that. And I always feel like when I read that stuff and it's like, it may work, it may not, but you're getting a great deal. And I'm like, well, I don't want to buy something that don't work.
I think they're just trying to cover their bases in case it's something they didn't test for, I guess.
Maybe. I think in most cases they are fine. But that scares me now about those 8s. I guess I need to go try them out and make sure they actually work.
Yeah.
The K9 is poo-poo.
Where's that at?
Oh, that's funny. That was David.
That's
blows
funny.
faster than you think.
What didn't EXO blow his?
Yeah, he did.
But I don't know. He gets so crazy with his suds, man. I don't know if I go by what he does or not.
Well, he had the first version too. He had the one where the glue was coming undone from the spider. Yeah, Scar Audio. Somebody says the Sumo 12, about 200 or 220. They really like that one. Yeah, I always wanted some. Go ahead.
So Mark talks about, I heard ARC audio subs are rebadged for image dynamics. And I think that's true because I got an ID8 and it is identical to the ARC 8.
Yeah, that makes sense. X15s, those are Sundowns, I think. David's talking about B-Stock. Sundown X is an awesome sub. CT Sounds has sales like that as well. Yeah, you guys can buy the CT Sounds if you want.
Yeah.
Not me.
Not anymore.
Nope, not anymore. If anybody wants to know why, you're welcome to send me a private message. I will not answer it in public, but I will tell you why.
Dragon 51 VD for venereal disease 8. When you said that, that's exactly what I thought, man.
Oh, that's for the win. Even think about that. I'm not seeing any more. Just seeing a lot of comments, and I appreciate all the comments.
Bring on the 8-inch shootout.
Skip01, man, why don't you own that podcast with T Fade and Andy? How'd you get left out of that one, man? Let's see here.
Let's see. Ram 15 asks if I'm mad or just tired. I'm tired, man. I've been working 12-hour days all week. This is the first day I didn't work over.
Audio Frog has a nice meter for around 200. Did you know they had a meter?
They have a meter?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Let me check it real quick.
I know they have a nice microphone, an RTA mic, for around 200.
I just bumped my camera here, so you're gonna see it shaking.
That's all right.
Let's see. Come on, Audio Frog.
Oh yeah, Skip01 says T-Spec makes some nice budget RCA stuff. They make nice wire and everything too. I've used quite a bit of their stuff.
T-Spec, you said?
Yeah.
Where do you get the T-Spec from? Is that Amazon or somewhere else?
I actually got it from Chris McMurtry.
Okay.
So I think he was, I don't know, he still might be a dealer for them.
All right, I'm looking up Audio Frog, and I don't see. Let's see components. I don't see a meter. Oh, test gear. Hold on, here we go. Let's see if this is it. All right. Well, I'm trying to get that page to come up. I'll look at.
It says Mark says look up user of the Stereo Direct. I've bought so much stuff from them way back in 2000. I think I might have bought stuff from them when you had to when they didn't have PayPal.
Who?
The Stereo Direct on eBay.
Oh, okay. Those Daytons are good stuff. Been drilling over IDMax 15. Ultimax may be the best deal going out. I think they've got all the Ultimaxes on sale right now, but they're not as discounted as they were a few weeks ago. And I did find the Audio Frog. Here, I'll pull it up so you guys can see it on the stream. USB measurement interface. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, if Andy might have talked about this, and I haven't listened to their full podcast yet, but
I'm pretty sure that's just an RTA mic.
It is. So it has to go into a PC.
Yeah.
Oh, look. Oh, Dougie Doug's testing it. That's the only time he'll use a Windows machine is when he's got to plug in a mic. Alrighty. Yeah, thanks for that tip there. Audio Frog. Let's see, are the first 50 going to be eligible for the 100 drawing for the Amp 2? Absolutely. All 100 will be eligible. He was too smart for me. Brain overheated. I just skipped way down after I said that, so I don't even know where I am. Oh, there it is. Andy's one of the brains behind the JBL MS8.
Yep. Matter of fact, didn't he talk? What was that podcast that used to be that the guy quit doing it? He was on there.
Oh, and that guy pulled all those down too, didn't he?
I don't have them either.
I don't either. I never downloaded them.
Ah,
dang.
Dude. Hey, if you guys what was the podcast name?
What was the name of that thing? The guy, he was a...
JL sponsored it, right?
They were going to. I don't know if they ever did, because he talked about that at one of the last shows that he ever did. Rob, I just noticed my battery died. I don't know when it died. Oh boy, hopefully it didn't. He was, didn't the guy work for a magazine or something?
Back in the day, yeah, I did.
Yeah, I
I
think
can't
he
think of
did.
it. You're the one that turned me on to it, and then
I know.
I listened to them all probably 2 or 3 times.
I'll have to go back through our emails between each other. I'll probably send it to you through email to let you know what it
Yeah.
was. But yeah, I hate that we don't have that anymore. That was some good stuff too. Let's see. Have you ever wired 4 2-ohm speakers in series? I need an 8-ohm load for my son's Jeep Power Wheel build. So there's nothing wrong with wiring 4 2-ohm speakers in series if you need an 8-ohm load.
No.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Mixed opinions online. I wonder why they're mixed. Yeah, there's no issue with wiring 4 2-ohm subs in series to get 8 ohms. That's no problem.
Oh man, I skipped down too far here.
SoundCubed runs Black Friday deals. What we'll try to do to help you guys out is we'll reach out to a lot of the different companies that sell stuff just to kind of, maybe have them send
12V
us.
Talk Black Friday deal.
Yeah, maybe we can get an affiliate code or something for them all too.
Yeah.
So we can help pay for this podcast. Nothing wrong with inline bass knob. Can't spell hot without OT. I don't see any other questions. Unless I missed any. Eminence Lab 12C. Anybody use one? I've heard good things about that sub, but I have not used one. If anybody has, leave a comment. That was Jack who asked that.
And that's kind of a running joke between JDR, myself, and Mike about Eminence. They make every sub imaginable. It's all Eminence.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did I miss?
I just leaving it vague because when they see it, they'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. Inside jokes
Yeah.
for the win. Oh, it's funny. Somebody here mentions Thomas mentions Dave Fishman Riviera.
I'd like to get Steve on to tell his story about that.
I would not be the one that tells that story, but
oh my goodness,
hearing some of the behind the scenes stuff for some of these people, for some of these guys who've been in car audio competitions for a long time, is funny and interesting. So any of you who are listening or watching this who know the behind the scenes of Fishman, then you know why we're laughing.
Oh
but
man,
those who don't know, sorry.
That was awesome. That's inside jokes. We're laughing, but you guys don't know.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't like to do that, but I will say, do a search on YouTube or the web for the I think it was Unique Whips where they had Gary Biggs and Fishman.
Oh, where they faced off?
Yeah, no, they were having to do a build really quick.
Oh.
And he got the two of them and somebody, of course it was Remy was working there too then. All three of them were doing different parts, but they were picking on Fishman about how slow he was. And you couldn't tell if this was made, for TV and that's why they did it like that, or if it's really the way he operated. But anyway, I don't know. But it's worth watching if you can find it online because it's pretty good.
So we need to have Steve on and let him tell the story and be like, hey, we're not accountable. This is all Steve's tales.
Yes. We'll have to have the bleeper ready, though, Steve.
Yeah.
Love you, man, but we got to have the bleeper. Bleep. Cool. Well, it's 9:44 Eastern time, and I have to get up at 5 a.m. to start my day. So thanks, everybody, for joining us live. We appreciate that, and everybody who's listening to the podcast, you're not hearing this, so yeah, whatever.
Do it live.
But hopefully next week we'll have our guest on. Stay tuned. Wednesday,
Yeah.
8 o'clock. And if it doesn't work out for some reason, then we will
Still be
have
here.
we'll have a backup plan. I'm
Yeah.
sure we always do. But
Right
we'll figure it
before-
out.
Yeah, we have a backup plan right before it's time to go.
We figure it out, man. Google Docs for the win.
Yeah.
Alrighty, gentlemen. Thanks again for joining. Rob, have a good rest of the week, brother.
You too. Later.
All right. See y'all later.